my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. And if you've been here before, welcome back. So I just remembered that I was asked to do a video on how I do my tutus. And I got a rush order today, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on it tonight. And I just remembered as I was rolling out my tool. So I currently have an order for a 3T, 4T tutu. And for my tutu, I like them to be a little on the fuller side. So I am currently rolling out 14 yards of purple tulle. I have tulle that is on the bolt. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish working on this order, and you guys can kind of just watch. So this would make 12 yards.
When to 8 is doing yards.
Hey, I'm doing a video.
Sorry.
This makes 13. Go to bed. And that makes 14 yards. And so now I'm going to take my handy dandy ruler. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my tool with my rotary blade. So I just cut straight up. I'm going to roll the rest of my tool up and put it back in the bag that it came in. My room is kind of a mess right now because I was swatting at a fly earlier. So I'm just going to toss that to the side right now. Keep all my tool in another room in the closet. Once you have gathered your tool, and as far as measurements go, a lot of it's going to be based off of discretion. Different people use different measurements for their tutus, so you kind of just have to figure out what is going to be better for you and the style of tutu that you like and what you're looking for. But the next step in the process would be to roll your tool back up the way it came in the bolt. So that's currently what I'm doing now, and you want to try to keep the edges together as much as you can. And so I have my cutting table rolled all the way out. And I'm kind of just pressing my tool as I go to kind of help flatten it to make it a little bit easier for me to roll up. And this process can take a little bit because, again, this is 14 yards of tulle. It's not like I'm doing a smaller tutu. And so what I'll probably do is speed this part of the video up so you guys don't have to watch me roll the whole time. And sometimes you'll see that the tool, like I can see here where my tool is trying to flip and turn. And so I'm going to kind of just straighten that out. So I can kind of keep it together. The good thing is we're going to be cutting the ends off, so that'll help it kind of be nice and even. But I'm sorry, I'm sure you probably seen my backside. But sometimes when you get this tool, it's like uneven anyway in the bag. That's what I've noticed. And when I go to Hobby Lobby or Joann's to buy a tool, normally they're kind of in a rush to kind of get you out of there, so they cut it and then they fold it up all weird and give it to you. And to me, it just makes it harder to work with when you get home. So this is probably the part that takes the longest to do. So we get into the end of my tool. And again, there's like no science to this. I think you just get better with time as far as trying to keep the tool lined up. I haven't learned or saw any tips or tricks to doing this other than just taking your time and trying to line those ends up the best that you can. So if you guys have any tips or tricks, definitely feel free to leave those in the comment section below. I would love to try them. Anything that will make my life easier and make this process faster. If you have any questions about what I'm doing thus far, also let me know. And I'll get those answered for you. As you see, I'm at this is the end of my tool. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish rolling this up. And voila. I have my tool. This is 14 yards that I cut. And as you see, I folded it back up how it was in the bolt. And since I'm doing, I have measurements. My cutting mat is in inches, and I have my measurements on my cutting mat. They kind of show me the length of my tutu. I want to cut this at about 14.5 to 15 inches long. I can't keep all this stuff in my head, so I have to write it down. So I'm just going to take my ruler so I can kind of line it up on the 14.5 mark. And then I'm going to grab my trusty rotary cutter again. And if your blade is pretty sharp, you should be able to slice through one time. There was a couple pieces that was holding on. And so now I have my 14.5 inches worth of tool. And sometimes if it's too uneven on the ends, you can always kind of cut off some tool on this end to make it, you know, to make it even before you start cutting. And what I've learned since doing tutus is sometimes you may even have enough to do a tutu in the future. So this is like 14 inches. This is about 14 inches long. So to me, it's almost long enough to do another 3T and 4T tutu. Or even I can cut some off and make it a 18 month. The 2T is just going to be a little on the fuller side. So I'm going to put that tool to the side. And so that's how I cut my tool for my tutus. And I'll come back with part 2 of this video and show you how I sew. They call it the casing. But when I say casing, I think of sausage. So I'm going to say how to sew the waistband for the elastic.